Oh shit! I didn't know this.
Yeah, Alex Jones, who's a well-known like political. I'm fixing your mic. I'm restarting this. But Alex Jones is like a well-known political conspiracy theorist, conservative right-leaning like talking head. Says like literally the craziest shit online possible. I guarantee, and we'll take that to the bank. He's recently gotten in some trouble with some of the content he's posted on YouTube and Facebook. He's got 2 strikes on YouTube. Facebook deactivated Alex Jones's personal Facebook page, so not like Alex Jones's official Facebook page or Infowars' official Facebook page, but his profile he can't log into anymore.
That's fucking hilarious.
Which is like the softest slap on the wrist from Zuckerberg, who says that, oh, people who deny the Holocaust, they're just misinformed. Whatever, Zuckerberg. Anyways, so Alex Jones, his podcast was put on Spotify, which it's very hard to get your podcast on Spotify. By the way, Audioface is on Spotify. I'm not saying anything, just saying. But it's not like an easy approval process, because with most podcasts, you literally, the reason why it's so easy to start one is that like you just make upload it and then you're done, right? But for other platforms, Spotify has a closed distribution process and you have to go through a couple other hoops to do that. But they put Alex Jones's on there. And Alex Jones is, Spotify's had this content policy that they've been wishy-washy on. We called it out earlier this year when I called Spotify CEO Daniel Ek noted little bitch because of...
he is up there in the no little bitch award race.
Because he bent to Kendrick Lamar's coming to the defense of the late and not so great XXXTentacion and the sadly still alive R. Kelly. And I really should stop. But Spotify really went on the defensive when that happened. And they tried to avoid any sort of controversy in that. But they deleted certain episodes of Alex Jones's podcast that have to do with things just egregiously violate the policy. So for YouTube, it was child endangerment and harassment, which is you can get broad with that. But Stitcher went even further, and they took the entire podcast off of...
fuck that shit and took it off.
And so you're getting into this interesting conversation, which I'm going to try to address a little bit on No Filter on the TYT network, haha. But it's this idea around how do tech companies decide what content goes on their platform? And how do we decide if those decisions are good or not? And I don't know if we can't really get into that here, per se, but
because then it gets political and #NoPolitics.
Yes,
we should
but...
bring that back.
How about more broadly? Because this has touched music before in a kind of non-political way with R. Kelly and XXXTentacion.
It's censorship in general.
Right. Do you see it as... So, by that framing, it sounds like you're against it generally.
Yes and no, because I believe in free speech, and it's hard when if it's a private company.
Right.
Like Stitcher.
So how do you think private companies should handle it? It's kind of. Do you think it's kind of the discretion as private companies? But
it is in a way.
It absolutely is. But how would
Because to me, as if I owned a company, I wouldn't care, per se, because if that's what your thing is, people can listen to your opinion, and if you don't agree with it, then just fine. Then talk to them about policy. This is getting into more the political side of it, but this is my thoughts on it. And that's if I owned my own streaming service. I would put anybody and anyone on, because just because someone is crazy conspiracy theory on one thing, what if I like a conspiracy theory, quote unquote, on the other side, and they start labeling it as a conspiracy theory or whatever, or as craziness like Alex Jones, and they cut it. Right. Say something that I agree with what Tarkali says. People might label it as conspiracy theory, saying some shit, and they unlabel him too.
Right.
They black flag him. So now it's a whole thing of, if that's one sign of censorship, then where is the line? And is it going to start crossing into where people are right? Like, generally right. But then because of all these other smear campaigns of other bullshit people, then they get smeared in the wrong way.
Right. I think...
So there's this awkward fine line of censorship that we're trying to find. With music, it's one thing of, to me, it's okay, if you rape somebody and it's pretty obvious and stuff, like R. Kelly sex cult shit.
Right.
Okay, that's the line. Cut that shit out. That makes sense. Other things of accusing people, it's hard when it's a political podcast, like Alex Jones. If you're going to have his stuff up on your platform, then You should have other people's podcasts
Things up. So you should have
themes up.
equivalent things from the left.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think most of these platforms are okay at that. It gets to this is such a huge conversation. I'm gonna like cut it off here.
I know because
like
is gonna keep
it
going
gets
on.
into how you do distribution. Where on Spotify, the concerns over exposing people to like just bad speech, and by bad is defined by it's proclaiming to be news when it's really just a lot of conspiracy theories and fiction. It's easily provable. The host behind it might be like harassers, like that kind of thing. We can just assume it's carte blanche bad regardless of ideology. Spotify doesn't put that in your face so much per se, whereas Facebook does. Facebook is a platform that the content finds you. Spotify is a platform where you find the content.
Exactly.
And so I think that's just one of the little nuances you have to have when having this larger argument, but this is not that podcast.